But first of all, we'll talk about the women's results yesterday, because obviously the focus of today's game is about the men's game, but we will talk about the women's competition as well. Cracking result yesterday for Beeston, their short trip to Loughborough students, coming away winning by 2-1. Ellie Mackenzie scoring first for Loughborough on 16 minutes. Beeston equalising through Lucy Millington, and Lauren Burrell getting the winner with an open play goal on 69 minutes. Elsewhere, Buckingham Reading 2. Buckingham scored first. Jennifer Crossley equalised on 35. Lucy Derman with a 69th minute winner as well. They must be contagious.
Yes.
Elsewhere, University of Nottingham 3, Holcombe 3, Wimbledon 1, East Grinstead 0, Hampstead and Westminster 5, Clifton Robinsons 1, and Surbiton 5, University of Birmingham 0. Congratulations to the women as well. That means they've secured top 6 for the season ahead. I'm Andy Day. Sitting alongside me is Steve Musson, which we're excited to have the game today.
Very much indeed. And just to reiterate what you said about the Beeston ladies confirming their place in the top 6, absolutely fantastic. But today's game, this is a real tasty fixture, as you say. There's some real talent on shows with from Holcombe today, so looking forward to this.
Leading us out are the umpires Dan Reid and Lee Barron. And as the teams line up, we'll go through the matchday 16s. There are 2 lots of 16s today. We did have a 15 last week. That's why I'm making that distinction. So we'll wait for the teams to get into formation and we'll go through those matchday lineups. Ahead of this, though, it's been a decent season for Holcombe so far. They've only lost 2 games this season. One of them was last time out against Oxford on the 20th of November. That was a 4-3 defeat. It's a close affair.
Yeah, I think maybe that's a bit of a local derby for Holcombe, and there's some edge comes into that game, but it was an unusual one, and I don't think people had expected that result to go that way.
Beeston are looking for their 4th win of the season, coming off the back of a defeat against the University of Exeter away from home, which left a few people with puzzled faces.
Yeah, I think they'd expected a lot more from that, but from what I've seen of Exeter, you can't underestimate sides like them. They are quick, young lads, very fit indeed, so they caused Beeston trouble from the start. Speaking to Stephen Wood in the week about this, and he felt that it took Beeston too long to get going in the game. So they spent most of the time just playing catch-up, really.
As we're focusing on the Holcombe team, a lot of eyes are on the back of Nick Banderak, top scorer for Holcombe. Scored exactly half of Holcombe's goals this season. 13 of their 26 have come from the stick of Nick Banderak as well. Called up to the international side as well this season, and he's done very well.
Absolutely, he's a very dangerous forward. I mean, you don't need to know much about hockey to know who you've got to stop performing today, because he's formidable in front of goal, and so he's one to watch. Along with others, I might add, Andy, as well. I mean, the team is packed with good players, and I think this will be the challenge for Beeston today to play very well as a team unit and see if they can stop Holcombe's better players performing. Yeah,
there's internationals sprinkled throughout this side, and not just of the England variety as well. Mo Meir is a South Africa international as well.
Yes, yeah.
And also Hayden Phillips of New Zealand. So there's representation from the Southern Hemisphere as well. So, looking at this Beeston lineup, we understand that there's been a bit of a reset ahead of this game.
Yes.
Looking at that match day 16, who are we looking for big performances from today?
Ollie Ashdown, he's coming back from a hamstring injury, but he's played enough and trained enough now to, I think, to have put that behind him, hopefully. So he's a dangerous player, and I think on his day he can be equally as dangerous as Nick Banderak can be. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play. Henry Croft back in the squad today. Again, another one coming back from injury, and we know about Henry. He's we call him the force of nature, I think it was last year.
Very direct when he needs to be.
Yes, that's right. So hopefully that'll add some power to the Beeston forward line today.
Whilst we're setting up as well, we did have a quick look at the table just to fill in the blanks. These are the results from yesterday in the men's Premier Division. Brooklands beaten 4-2 at home by Wimbledon. East Grinstead 1, University of Nottingham 4. Big result for
University of Nottingham, definitely.
Surbiton defeated at home by Old Georgians. A couple of seasons ago, that would have been a very big surprise.
It would, yeah.
And less so. It's still a shock.
But it's
less of a surprise than we would normally expect, and Hampstead and Westminster complete in set, beating Oxford by 4-1. Clock is ticking. We're live on BTV. It is a very overcast Sunday, the 27th of November 2022, and the time has just ticked beyond 2 o'clock. We are live. Beeston in the black and gold halved shirts, starting with the possession.
Yep.
And they're attacking the boulevard end, playing left to right on your screens. Holcombe in the red, black and red with the white flashes, playing from right to left, attacking the car park in this first half. Formalities complete.
Yeah, interesting press to start with as well, because obviously quite high press position from Holcombe up to the Beeston 23-metre line, and but not real any intensity to win the ball, just waiting for an error, and of course they have the ball from that now, so ball off the side of the pitch there, so back in Beeston hands. Be interesting to see how, at what point I would expect to see Holcombe start to press really hard. Here you go. So Beeston have got to find their way out from quite a tight part of the pitch there.
Indeed, just to the left of your picture is Nick Banderak, the player that we were talking about at the build-up, and he scored 13 goals this season. You can see how close he was to Simon Hujwan in the Beeston goal, waiting for any error.
That's right, yes. And this is where Beeston needs to be competitive, slowing the build-up play, but Holcombe's build-up play, just making sure that they don't take their drop their standards at all, keep the intensity right the way through the game.
Phil Roper of Holcombe has just jogged in front of us in the chapel. Spent a bit of time with him at a junior event a couple of years ago. Good person and good fun as well. So. Interesting to see how he was one of the 3 international captains, which didn't quite work out. But it's an interesting idea.
Yes, it was. A bit of an experiment, so just to see how that kind of leadership of the national team could go. I think at the end of the day, things are as they always used to be. You need a skipper and a leader, and a second lieutenant almost, really. Anyway, Beeston in a good position here.
That playing the ball into the circle, deflected away at the critical time right on the edge of the circle. Holcombe trying to get out of their 23-metre line at the moment with Tim Guys-Brown flicking it forward. Beeston picking up the loose ball really nicely from Ali Richmond. Twists, turns, makes it over the 23-metre line. Ball in the circle again. Is there a shooting opportunity here? Potentially played onto feet. Nothing doing, says the umpire, and away.
Yeah, real intent there from Beeston to, I think it was Will Prentice trying to find a foot to get a penalty corner to open the tally of corners. Good opportunity, but good defence from Holcombe, protecting their feet and making sure they didn't give that corner away.
Beeston, and this is a personal view, have been a little bit ponderous in possession recently. I don't think it's the day to go all guns blazing against Holcombe, but a little bit more pace has seen them do well and get up the field there.
Well, I still feel that this Beeston side is still finding its feet, really. It works so hard at training. I'm down here and I see them train flat out, and they're some good players. And it'll click for them at some point. There's nothing wrong with what we've seen so far in the start.
Will Prentice being robbed of the ball.
Yes.
And we've got a stoppage here.
Yeah, it's going to be very important that we call the turnovers are low for Beeston today, because Holcombe will certainly pounce on that kind of an error.
Game starting to settle down as we come to the end of the 4th minute.
Yeah, a couple of times Holcombe passed it off the side of the pitch, so they're a bit patient in their build-up at the moment, and it's giving Beeston possession back. So trying to find again. You can see the Holcombe forwards really high on the in the D and beyond the 23-metre line. That's a great escape.
Neat interchanging halfway, but that's broken down. Nice idea. Not quite the right execution as Holcombe go through the gears and go over the 23-metre line. Important stick on the edge of the circle. Stop Holcombe's progression into that circle. Nice little control as well, and the ball away. Promising. This is Ollie Ashdown who's running to traffic and tried to get away, but he will be pulled back for this free hit here. For Holcombe into the circle straight away, down. Banderak plays it in front of goal, takes a touch.
Yeah, Robbie Gleeson having plenty to do in defence at the moment to keep this bit of pressure out. Good use of the aerial by Holcombe into the D to a player in space. Difficult for defenders when that happens, because if they're closed too quickly it could be an offence in the penalty corner, so taking care. That's a good aerial. Nicely picked up by Holcombe.
First time we've had in a frame a few moments ago when that aerial was delivered forward. Barry Middleton, number 18 for Holcombe. He's a international legend of many years renowned, and as Holcombe into the circle, shooting opportunity, played in towards goal, important stop.
Left.
Penalty.
Yeah, penalty corner given, yeah. I think Lee Barron rolling with that and allowing them the opportunity, a bit of an advantage, but I think the second offence there was probably a foot, so they've great ball into the midfield.
Let's have a quick look at the stop as well from Hujwan. Important that he was involved at this point. There you go, look at that. Strong hands, but the follow-up, not quite what Beeston had in the game plan.
Yeah, good work from Simon Hujwan. I mean, that's as much as he could do there, but his reactions were quick. That looked to me like it was heading in the direction of the goal, so he's made a good save there. And he's going to have to be on his mettle here as well.
So who's going over to inject? It is...
I can't see the number.
No, can't see a number for it. I think it might be Jake Owen, but we'll reset. You can see Banderak, 23, alongside him, just to the left, Tim Guys Brown. So two top-tier dispatches.
Absolutely, yes. That's the expecting a lot from the number 1 runner here. See if he can stop the immediate flick.
Gone to Guys Brown, and that's stopped, and it's gone high in the air. And Beeston come away with that.
Well, that's just the point we're making. The number 1 runner there, which and he's been Louis Dupre been hit with the ball there, so he's done his job very well. It's hit him high, so deemed to be dangerous, and that's gone Beeston's way. But he's obviously in a bit of pain. We've talked about this number 1 runner's role in the past and how unpleasant it is, and how some people quite take to it, but you can't fault Louis Dupre's running there. Seems to be all right.
Bright start from both teams.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's obviously that potency from Holcombe. Instant attacks off little turnovers from Beeston, so they're going to have to be very careful of the turnover ball. There's another one. You can see how quickly that's progressed. And they found a bit, Holcombe found a bit of space, so this is going to be an area that Beeston need to tidy up. Oh, that's nicely connected, and this is very dangerous.
Well worked around the corner, down to the floor goes Simon Hujwan, penalty corner number 2.
Yeah, and all from the turnover. The trigger point was the ball carry, which was turned over too easily towards the halfway line, and we're talking about 10 seconds later, and it's a penalty corner, so hopefully lesson learned. That's a great little slip through, puts
keeps the momentum going.
Yeah,
as well.
Absolutely. Very good use of that baseline on the left-hand side of the pitch as we look at it, and hard for defenders. Keeper's got no choice but to defend his post. Quite easy for a talented forward to actually find a foot and win a penalty corner.
Looks like a swap around the edge. That's Banderak has gone to the left-hand side this time. Can't quite make a number out on the right-hand side. It could be Phil Roper who's...
I think it is, yes, that's right.
There's another very important stop.
And that's 2. If I saw that right, that was a great save from Simon Hujwan. So
flying to his right.
Yeah. And now Beeston needs to take their time here. Just let that settle, take this pressure away. Take credit from the fact that they've defended 2 short corners very well, one from a number 1 runner and one from a keeper save. And just beware of that midfield turnover as they try to progress up the pitch. Use of an aerial, that helps a bit, but it's gone straight to a Holcombe player.
Gifting away possession on the halfway. It had to be something different had to be tried, and then Beeston can't make things stick together in midfield.
No. Again, a missed trap in the middle of the pitch.
Roper with a flick towards the edge of the circle and then played out. And this is a time for George Flesher to take a touch, and he's dispossessed.
You don't have that much time, George, to fiddle around with the ball. It's got to be very direct and obvious that you're going to get rid of it. That's nicely
Griffiths
done.
does well, and once again, decent from Ali Richmond, trying to find a way over halfway, which he does. Little tap away from Jake Owen.
Yeah, just a little bit of time needs to be spent building up now and keeping possession for Beeston to stop those counter-attacks that we've seen from Holcombe. 3 or 4 of them in the last 5 minutes, and they're dangerous.
Bit of space for Beeston to operate in the 10th minute on BTV. We are live direct from Nottingham Hockey Centre. Your comments, as ever, always welcome, wherever you are in the world, and that's unfortunate from Richmond. It was going well for him, and then
he's done well to win it back there.
Indeed he has, as he goes to ground. Beeston gets... it's how quickly fortunes change on the hockey pitch.
Well, yeah, and that was one of those desperate tackles where he realised he'd messed up, so he'd had to do everything to get it back quickly to put that right, and he did it well. But again, another little lessons how potent Holcombe can be. I mean, look at the pressers coming in there, players all the time in shape, ready to make a tackle and steal that ball off if you're not careful.
13 is Tom Russell, that's the player that with his hand up in the air. Nice, quick ball. Nearly fell kind for Beeston, but mops up. This is Russell again in possession now, tries to find a way round through to Furlong.
Griffiths working hard here to try to see if they can win that possession, but not quite worked out.
Two Wales internationals battling each other there.
Yes, that's right.
Teammates, they hopefully will be in January.
Yes. Beeston dropped off quite a way now to more of what you call the half-court press position, making sure everybody's in shape, ready to defend. Just working around the outskirts of that.
Roper disappearing like the defender wasn't there. But Beeston finally got a stick on it, running the ball into traffic.
Yeah, a bit lucky there. I think I would like to have seen that passed instantly from there to avoid those three pressing Holcombe players. Nearly got caught, but again,
really nice control from Sam Taylor. That was. He's got his stick beautifully in position.
Yeah. So the aerials that Beeston have thrown that have gone towards the Holcombe players have all been controlled very nicely.
Quick personal note as well. I might not sound my best, but I'm a lot better than I was a week ago. So don't worry if my voice sounds kind of a lot more
Chapel Lurgy, I think.
Yeah. A lot more gritty than usual.
Now that's nicely taken as well in the corner, and that's put into the D. But there's only Henry Croft quite high in the D. They've won the ball back, so now this is where you hope that teams can upgrade their possession. They are in possession of the ball and can control this around. So ultimately, you'd hope this will find its way into the D.
We're talking about internationals as well at the start of the game, and one person that we've not touched on yet, and it's a player that hasn't yet touched the ball. It's Ollie Payne, number 20, the goalkeeper.
That's right, yes.
For Holcombe. England and Great Britain from 2020 to present. He was at Tokyo, he was at the Commonwealth Games for England.
Yeah, just when you think you get into a good position, you've then got to try and beat him as well, and he's an extremely useful goalkeeper, so it's not going to be an easy day, but so far so good. It's important to take credit out of the defensive work that you do sometimes. There's a lot of focus on how forwards perform, but Beeston have defended two corners already, so they can be confident that that's something they can do.
Whistle blows, and it's gone in favour of Holcombe, so they've got the opportunity to shuffle a bit further forward, but they move very quickly towards the left-hand side. Here's Roper again, who's been involved quite a lot, tries to go around Ryan Bowie. Yeah, and Bowie's done very well to pressure him to the baseline. It's still loose. Shooting opportunity's been blocked. Second opportunity punched wide of the upright.
Miss it there, but again, an attempt on the baseline by Holcombe to either find a slip for a pass finish or a foot for a penalty corner, and Beeston defended that a lot better this time.
I must say, Furlong, you'd expect him to get a bit nearer to the target than the shot actually went, and it was more in danger of being turned towards goal than being deflected away as well.
Yeah. Bit of a miss hit as well, which saw the ball off the back. Robbie Gleeson having to do a lot in defence today, so very good on the ball and a lot of pace, which can get him out of tight areas sometimes. So he's patrolling the back quite well at the minute.
Nick Bandrijk on the front foot, thought that had been played, but umpires brought play back. Not Beeston pure and simply hadn't started the play. That's not ideal in defence.
No, you see that ball fed into the midfield when you can already see three people around you. It's very risky, I think. That's nicely defended.
Arm outstretched from the umpire as well. Beeston ball.
Yeah, Beeston ball. Tommy Stanley just travelling away with this now.
Nice chop inside from Stanley. Nice ball
Great
out to the
ball.
left-hand side. The control is okay. Fired in low. That's the first touch for Ollie Payne with the ball bouncing off his overshoes.
Well, lovely pass, crossfield pass from Toby Stanley, and a lot of space in the D on that counter-attack. George Fletcher not really getting hold of it, but as we said earlier, he's got to beat Ollie Payne with those kind of shots. It's not easily done.
Mopped up with a degree of ease in the Holcombe defence as the ball is taken down very neatly on the sideline. Still in play, that's beyond. A little bit inviting a challenge. Roper moves the ball calmly towards Furlong. He's having a decent spell, very prominent couple of moments in front of the camera.
Well, most of the attacks from Holcombe have been down the left-hand side so far. This is the first time they've really found themselves working hard on that right-hand side, so Beeston tidying that up by the looks of it quite nicely. But now it's gone Holcombe's way.
Whistle blows. Are we going to see a card here?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a card as
Toby Stanley, I think, has been green carded.
2-minute temporary suspension.
Not helpful, really.
No.
Just shortening the numbers that you've got to defend with. Probably a bit of chat.
Yep. We've got the clock right, because the clock seems to have been stuck, so we know what time it will be running till. It'll be a couple of seconds into the second quarter.
Yes, that's right. This is running loose to Holcombe on the edge of the D, but again, yeah, nicely marshalled. I mean, good collapsing defence work from Beeston. They've had to, but numbers getting back and low, and apart from the two corners they've given away, they've made some quite good defensive moves in the D to keep the ball out.
Nice little pitching wedge up towards the 23-metre line.
George Fletcher, I think, on the ball there, just got caught again.
We've seen him on the near side to the camera. Now he's moved. There's a bit of, is it a bit early for a bit of a switch around like that, or is that part of the game plan?
No, I think you want teams to be comfortable with moving positions.
Oh dear, that ball's disappeared off into the crowd.
It has. People leaping for cover on just outside our door. But no, the movement is part of the game of hockey now. It's nobody's really pigeonholed in a position, and the better teams are very comfortable with movement and cover. Just thinking back to George Fletcher playing on the left up front there, he's got to be aware of the fact that he needs to make his movements to receive the ball very quickly, because he'll be tackled if he doesn't. And twice he's received good aerials and then has been caught with the ball.
I think Beeston were unhappy with the decision there. They felt that the aerial might go towards the way of Rowan Boo, but it didn't.
It didn't.
And it is quarter time. Beeston 0, Holcombe 0 is your end of quarter one position.
Well, I think the defensive work that Beeston have done, they've been forced to do it, but they've done it pretty well. They've defended the corners. Number one runner, as we said, did that very well, and a good save from Simon Hudgwan. Just a couple of times in the D for Beeston. Shot from George Fletcher from a great pass from Toby Stanley. And so that sort of counter-attack opportunity will be there for Beeston. So we'll hopefully see some of that in the second quarter.
Our headline sponsor is the Magical Mushroom Company. The Magical Mushroom Company harnesses the natural flexibility and strength of mycelium, the material structure of fungi, to grow protective packaging at any scale by combining it with agricultural waste such as hemp, cork and sawdust. This offers a safe, sustainable and totally home compostable alternative to plastic foams, ideal for packaging, horticulture and interior design solutions. You could say they're solving the plastic problem with the magic of mushrooms. Since 2020, the Magical Mushroom Company has produced over 500,000 pieces of mushroom packaging, and by 2023, they'll effectively have removed more than 1,000 tonnes of EPS packaging from landfill. Find out more about the Magical Mushroom Company at magicalmushroom.com. So that is the position at half-time, 0-0. We'll hear more from our sponsors at half-time.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you very much. By the way, social media, if you'd like to let us know where you're watching in the world, who stood out for you, who you think's going to score first, which goalkeeper's going to have the better game.
Yes.
Engagement is king. You please get in touch with us. Whichever platform you're watching on, click, tweet, chat, and whatever they do on Mastodon these days, because that's the new thing that's turning up. Let us know. And your thoughts always welcome. And if we're able to, we'll read out the best.
Well, as we go into the start of this second quarter, Andy, I think if Beeston can just make sure they keep the possession when they are trying to escape from their own 23-metre line. Here we go, good example here, and not turn the ball over. That's something that will limit Holcombe's attacks a bit, and that might just allow them a bit more possession and time to build up a few attacks of their own. Indeed,
it feels a little bit like baby steps. You've got to get some of the basics right before you can start to build.
I think when you play a side like Holcombe and you know that they've got such potential for scoring goals, you've just got to make sure you get everything in your basic game absolutely right. And this is an example again. If you don't, you get breakaways like that which become very dangerous.
Well marshalled around the edge of the circle, and Beeston will come back for a free hit as well. But just going back to that defending, that was a very, very usefully timed challenge.
It was. And this is the thing you have to do. It might not necessarily be the lead defender that makes the tackle, but certainly somebody covering and following up can step in and tidy things up, as we saw there. Important that defenders work together all of the time. Ooh, a very bit of space on the left. I think that's, yeah.
Holcombe having to drop back.
Lee Barron very slow on the whistle there. I think it looked all the world for me that was an offence for a Beeston restart. And back to the aerial.
A lot of heat on that one, taken down nicely by Bowie, who had a lot of joy. He's broken through 2 challenges. He's gone through a third. Is he going to go all the way? Oh, so close.
Very close. Some tricky skills there to get through to what looked like a goal-scoring chance, which I think that might have been a save by Ollie Payne. And now that we've got the counter-attack from Holcombe.
Russell's brought the ball a long way into the corner, and there's a bit more bite about Beeston.
Yeah, they're working hard. They're working very hard, and it's pretty obvious they're going to have to do that. But so far, this has been quite encouraging. Just these little turnovers when they don't get away, take the ball away, and it can come back with interest. And here's another situation.
Really crunched in. It's still bouncing around. Just a little look around from Henry Croft before he moved towards the ball, and
I'd rather see Henry stay on the outside of the player there and not try all the tricky stuff on the inside, which easily gets dispossessed when you do things like that.
And Nolan going to ground as well. We were talking earlier on about the situation with Barry Middleton. He's now the coach at Holcombe. He's replaced Julian Halls. He was there for 12 years.
He was, yeah.
And also, it looks like we've got a penalty corner coming as well. The umpire on the near side has given a clear signal.
Yeah. You see, Henry Croft, just before we go back to that, Andy, he had the ball in a good position to release the pressure on the right-hand side. And because he didn't take that ball away on the outside of the player safely, it doesn't take long for that to become the penalty corner that we see here. And these are the moments that Beeston have got to protect against. If this ends up being a goal, the trigger point would be right outside our window here when there's an opportunity to put the ball at the other end of the pitch.
I was saying about the situation with Barry Middleton. On the other bench today, there's no Stephen Wood. Get well soon.
That's right, absolutely. He's been hit by the dreaded COVID bug, and so we wish him well. So Beeston again going to have to be on their mettle here. Again, the #1 runner is going to have to try and get his line of running right. Simon Hudjwan.
It's a quick delivery, low, hard. That's penalty stroke.
Yeah, it's hit a foot on the line. It's beaten Simon Hudjwan's left foot, and by the looks of it, it's hit the Beeston postman on the foot on its way into the goal. So that'll be a penalty. That's why it would be given as a penalty.
I thought he'd done very well to. Oh, he almost did the splits there to reach the ball, but close attention on the bottom.
Yeah, I think that Lee Barron sees that as going in the net, and therefore it's been stopped by the body, and that's So Toby Stanley's had his green card and now he's given a penalty away. So
not have a great day for him.
So far, so good.
But it could turn out to be a good day for Nick Banderek. He's already on 13 goals for the season. It's him versus Simon Hujwan for potentially the opening goal of the game. It's into the goal, and Holcombe take the lead.
Yeah, it was hard to see him missing that, really. He's got an eye for the goal from many different parts of the pitch, and certainly when it comes to the penalty stroke, he's not going to find that very difficult.
High finish, calm as well as you address the ball as well. Little shuffle, powered in.
Yeah, all on the power and accuracy, and very hard for Simon Hujwan. That is a shame, because there was an opportunity, in my opinion, to have put the ball at the other end of the pitch, and that little moment that we referred to, Andy, has through the corner and then the foot on the line has led to the 1-0 scoreline. Little moments, little moments.
Beeston looking to go all the way up the other end. They did have their best moment, and then a minute later they conceded.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the way the game goes. And again, Holcombe defending very well here, because Beeston were in control of that. Still have the ball for a sideline restart. A nice way to, if we could get a quick penalty corner or a comeback goal, that would be great in this quarter of the game. Just settle things down again. Quite a good position here, making a connection and space here.
And broken down as well by the umpire's whistle.
Well, the deflection, the lead and the deflection from Ollie Ashdown to Henry Croft, but he didn't pick it up cleanly, so umpire saw something there, which is a shame, because he was in quite a lot of space in the D. A little bit of quality needed on that pick-up, just making sure you keep the ball for yourself and don't let the defenders get anywhere near it. Certainly don't make a mistake. We've fed in, and that's gone to the same sort of situation.
Hujwan involved again, and it's another penalty corner.
Very interesting difference. We've seen virtually the same type of attack at both ends within a very short space of time. Beeston's little error in the D led to Holcombe attacking. The same attack occurs here, but they've won a penalty corner out of it, and it's those differences that we're seeing here. There you go, little spin.
There's the save, and the save created danger, I think. Yeah,
that's right. So again, the danger continues because it's another penalty corner. So
clock continues to tick. Banderek, you can see 23 on his back. Phil Roper to the left. Tim Guys-Brown with number 2. He's also to the right of the picture and a little bit behind the D as the players go into position. Beeston ready to defend. Holcombe ready to attack. And that's a second for Nick Banderek.
Yeah,
makes it look easy sometimes.
Very much so, yeah. It's gone in off that keeper's left post again. This time it hasn't hit the body on the way through, straight in the backboard. We all heard it. So we've seen some real little moments that of Beeston possession turn very quickly into advantage for Holcombe, as suddenly the scoreline is 2-0. All the good work in defensive duties sort of comes to nothing when you make mistakes that allow counter-attacks and set pieces to be won by your opponent. And it's a hard fight back from 2-0, but not impossible if they can get a little bit more circle entries for themselves and maybe try to win that first penalty corner.
24th minute comes to a close on BCV. Beeston 0, Holcombe 2, goals in really quick succession from Nick Banderek. Moves on now to 15 for the season.
It's almost like he found the short corner, the penalty corner flick, as easy as the penalty stroke. Ball hitting the backboard in that case very quickly.
Beeston get a free hit in a decent position. Ball in the circle. Payne shuffles and watches the ball bounce over the baseline.
Yeah, it's come off a Beeston player last, so the possession goes back to Holcombe.
So it was 0-0 after the first 17.5 minutes. 2 goals in the second quarter so far has put Holcombe so far in the driving seat. But what can Beeston do?
Well, Nick Banderek, we spoke about him at the start, before the game. He's very dangerous forward. and we've seen him from 2 set pieces, penalty stroke and penalty corner. Let's hope we don't see one of his open play goals as well. Dangerous position for Holcombe on the edge of the Beeston circle. And into the circle.
Pressure, 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 long corner. It's the first long corner I think we've had in the game so far.
But you can see the intent from Holcombe to get into the D with the ball as often as possible, because that's when anything can happen. And again, a slightly rarer right side attack. Not quite trapped cleanly by Beeston, and again the restart of this similar position to the last restart, and again the ball fed into the D.
Very, very tight in front of the goalkeeper, tries to be lifted over him. Nice idea.
Good effort, yes, nice idea, but tricky to do from there. But so a little bit more possession and build-up for Beeston now, particularly maybe this right-hand side, get the ball forward, take a bit of a risk getting it forward. This is where they're getting caught. It's just trying to escape through the midfield, and Holcombe players are quickly onto that. And
that was a pass to the umpire.
Pass to the umpire, yeah, that's right. He's,
oh, we've just seen another card come out. There's a green card being displayed, but who has it been displayed to? Phil Roper looks like he's gone for a sit down, but I don't know if that's the naughty step or he's just taken a seat. It is Phil Roper who's been shown the green card. Not entirely sure why.
No, it sort of came from nothing, that. But so again, here we are. But it's getting a little bit too familiar now to see Holcombe winning possession so quickly. Beeston not stringing together many passes when they repossess the ball, and it's allowing too much steady, considered build-up by Holcombe. Of course, we're seeing the result of that in the corners that they're winning.
Also, good game management. This as a player down. You wouldn't necessarily know that, but Beeston try and take advantage as they cross towards the halfway line again. Panasar.
You see how that could very easily have been a counter-attack. Those passes into the midfield are not working very well for Beeston.
Towards the left-hand side of the circle, punch towards that, and the whistle blows before that ball came across.
Yeah, that's defenders at height. So. I think it's one of the areas that Beeston have to look at, the amount of times they've been caught in the middle of the field.
Looking at historically, last time out when Holcombe visited here, it was a high-scoring game. Beeston 3, Holcombe 4 back in February 2020. It's been a reasonably even set of contests over the years.
Yeah, and very gradually Holcombe have they've gone through their highs when they arrived in the Premier League and did very well, and then a little bit of a dip in form. But you can look at the recruitment that's gone on and the quality of the players that they've got, and of course their coaching staff with not only Barry Middleton as player coach, but David Ames.
Indeed, you were saying about the new faces that came in over the summer. They only had incoming players as far as we were aware.
Yes.
Nobody left.
Yeah, and this is why I think they've strengthened up. They knew they had to do that if they wanted to be in the top 6, and they're comfortably in there now. So
this result, talking about the top 6, would put Holcombe's men onto 20 points for the season, level with Hampstead and Westminster, and guarantee them top 6 hockey for the second part of the season. Still, Beeston's job for the next half an hour and a bit of change is to try and deny that.
That's right. If they can plenty of time in the game, just the frequency of Beeston attacks is not high enough at the moment, so they're going to have to try and improve that if they're going to get anywhere near getting back into this.
Context as well, Beeston have one more game in the first half of the season, and that's a trip to Sugden Road and Surbiton.
It's not exactly the easiest of fixtures to finish off this part of the season.
So are the team looking at a big second half performance maybe to try and lift them, or is that, do you reckon that the team have got it in them this second half?
Well, I don't see any reason why they have to think that way. They have to be confident. I think they've got to try to create more circle entries so that they've got chances of winning penalty corners, and maybe an open play goal. But Holcombe are very good at dispossessing anybody who carries the ball for too long, and we've seen it many times already.
Positive from Beeston. Again, traffic. We've just seen Long blow the whistle. Umpire Lee Barron just with the international standard calm down hand signals.
Yeah.
Beeston punch it towards the edge of
Too
the
easy.
23-metre line, but so
choice
easy
of
to
pass, but Robbie Gleeson has redeemed himself, yes.
Is there a pass on here? No, Gleeson has to do it all himself, but that's fallen kindly for Croft, who wrestles his way towards the edge of the circle and tries to win it back again. Holcombe in possession. Good side to watch in possession.
Yeah,
and
definitely, yes. They're some quality players, and like you say, they can make it look quite easy there. Their possession stats are high in the game. Look at that, it's a cracking shot to pass across the pitch.
Great delivery, allows the point of attack to move from right all the way now to left. Appeal, and that's a penalty corner, number 5.
Well, a great build-up. I mean, they've used the full width of the pitch there to move the Beeston defence around, ending up back in the left-hand side of the D as we look at it. An obvious intent to win yet another penalty corner. This little feed through between the progressing Beeston players, and then Gareth Griffiths trying to make a defence, and it's ridden up his stick and led to the penalty corner. Very noticeable difference, and I think it's, you know, sometimes you have to tell it how it is. The difference in standard between the top 4 or 5 teams and the rest is quite noticeable this season. It seemed to be fairly predictable from early on who the top 6, or top 5 certainly, were likely to be in a bit of a scrap for the 6th place.
So Beeston's defensive line are back and set, ready to go. It's gone towards the left-hand side of the circle, kicked away. Not a great delivery inside from Tim Guys-Brown. Probably of the 5.
Oh, that's right. It's
the poorest one that we've seen, but we've got nothing to compare it to for Beeston so far.
Nothing at all. Ball flying around in the D again, and
very close to a shove that didn't come off.
And the ball with Holcombe trying to create space for a shot.
Roper on the edge of the circle, clearly his green card having elapsed.
Yeah. Difficult to dispossess, tricky skills. Risk again of another penalty corner, but a good position for a restart for Holcombe. Pressure continues to mount, I feel. It's
Guys-Brown in his natural environment, defending. Saying about the internationals as well. He's another one from South Africa. I think he was at the was he at the World Cup? Yeah. Sorry, he was at the Olympics last year.
That's right, he was. Yeah. That ball outlet from Beeston then to Will Prentice, missed his trap. Instantly the pressure's back on, and the possessions with Holcombe. These are the things that have got to be improved. It's so important to get on the ball, hold it tight, just give yourself a bit of time, let your teammates settle a bit, and create opportunities to build up some play. But at the moment we're not seeing more than sort of 3 passes strung together by Beeston before it's back to the Holcombe build-up play, where you get anything from 7 to 10 passes at a time, as we can see now. There's half-time.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how we've reached that time, but, well, we'll take it. We could all do with a breather. It's been a remarkable performance for Holcombe. They've been in control for probably 80 to 90% of the time. Beeston have had a few good moments, but they've only been just a few good moments.
They have, that's right, and quite a deliberate pattern of play from Holcombe, building up patiently and steadily, but with an intent to get into the D, as we've seen, and that's led to their set pieces, which have given them their 2 goals. Not really created an obvious open play chance yet, but that's still potentially something that they'll work towards in the second half. So a bit to do for Beeston.
While we're gathering our thoughts, we'll say our thanks as well to our matchday sponsors as well.
Our main live streaming partner is Air IT. With over 15 years of industry experience, they are a mature, well-established and trusted strategic technology partner to a wide range of organisations and in-house teams. With comprehensive expertise across IT, communications, cybersecurity and business intelligence, Air IT will cover all your technology needs. Whether you choose to fully outsource or complement in-house resources, we provide a complete managed solution from initial advice to supply, implementation and ongoing support. Find out more at airit.co.uk.
We're also proud to sponsor a partner with Club Buzz. Club Buzz lets sports clubs build an incredible website and manage their entire club, including their team selection and payments, with a Club Buzz app, which is rated 5 stars in the Apple App Store. Get started for free with Club Buzz at clubbuzz.co.uk. Half time is scheduled to be, I think, 8 minutes today, so what we will do here is catch our breath as well, and we'll see you as soon as we can. Don't go far away. This is BTV, where anything can happen. Welcome back to BTV, the position as you rejoin us for the second half. It's Beeston 0, Holcombe 2, with 2 goals from Nick Banderak, taking advantage of set pieces. First goal was a penalty corner, the penalty stroke. The second goal was a penalty corner, both dispatched very finely into the goal. Holcombe have been the better side of the two. Beeston have shown flashes of what they can do, but it's a big task ahead of the second half for Beeston to get back into the game.
It is. I think they're struggling. Beeston are struggling to get the ball through the midfield into higher positions because of the structure that Holcombe have got in place. And every time the ball has gone into the midfield, I would imagine most of the time it's actually been repossessed by Holcombe in that part of the pitch. I think using the flanks might be a little bit more productive for Beeston if they can do that. But they certainly need to create more circle penetrations with a view to winning at least a penalty corner. 2-0 is not a huge scoreline in the context of hockey, and often, you know, if you can get that first goal, that might just give them a glimmer of an opportunity to get back into the game. So
interesting, as you were speaking, I was looking at Ollie Ashdown having a chat with Barry Middleton on halfway. And I think there was a discussion about movement and being ready for the start of the half. But the players clearly know there's a camera here, because at one point there was some classic mouth covering to avoid lip reading.
Was there? Right.
We've reached that stage of the BTV notoriety.
Well, we've all been on the lip reading course anyway, so we know that's the case. But here we go. This is where Beeston have got to try to make sure that this high press that we can see here from Holcombe players, they get out of it. If that ball can get beyond these players, all of a sudden you've eliminated, but it's not quite, you see, so all of a sudden the pressure's back on.
So it was a nice punch ball, but also the quality of the trap.
Yeah, nicely layered setup by Holcombe, creating lanes of players that can defend however you try to outlet, and that's making it very difficult. Of course, with the quality on the ball, as we've seen, it doesn't take them long to repossess it.
Rob feels he was moving forward a few moments ago. I must say I'm yet to see Mo Mir, number 19 for Holcombe.
No,
I don't think I've seen him. If he's been on, we've missed him. I certainly don't remember seeing him in commentary. I'm looking forward to seeing him play. He was ready to go for Tokyo 2020 and then got injured ahead of that tournament. He's now back playing fully again. He's going to be the first Indian South African to feature at the Olympic Games for South Africa.
That's right.
Wasn't quite to be. The gods weren't smiling.
Now that's in the midfield again, and ball with Robbie Gleeson. Can he find his way? Sorry, it's Toby Stanley, and he didn't find his way out. So again, a lot of recovery work to do. Yeah, well watched there by Joe Palmer, made the tackle there.
Free hit for Beeston, and just if you're joining us, it's Beeston in the black and gold halved shirts, defending the Boulevard end and attacking the car park end in the second half. Right to left, that's a nice run. Can it be kept in? It has been kept in by Ali Richmond, but yes, it has been kept in, and he's won a free hit as well. Oh, firing in very quickly.
Too hasty, really. That's you see, you can see how it's possible to get higher up the pitch using the flanks, and Beeston probably might try to do that more often, I think, just to get...
I wonder where that struck the Beeston midfield.
That's right.
I'm trying not to... the obviousness of it's what's making me laugh, not the pain itself. That was a nice idea onto the baseline, and Holcombe are in here on the baseline. Played in, stopped, and there's a shooting opportunity for 3. And the umpire was stopping back, and somehow that has not gone in. Well,
for all the world, that looked like a 1 point of that in that move. It was an open goal, but it must have been Simon Hudgman that stepped across there. It happened so quickly, and he's made a great save.
Banderak was ready to fill his boots for his hat-trick, and there's Middleton with the ball into the circle, and that's some way wide of the right-hand post of Simon Hudgman's goal. I wouldn't mind seeing that again if we had the ability to do that, because that was so quick. You're right, it looked like an open goal, and then out of nowhere the ball did not go in.
Simon Hudgman appeared in the next frame of the shot and made the save. But again, we're seeing the errors that are creeping in. Beeston on 3 occasions already have not actually made a pass that's connected, and it's come back with interest and retain possession. Another situation here. Just that extra little bit of care. Good work to retain it and some space. Here we go.
Breaking down the right-hand side. Apula's there. Long corner. Apula's first time I've mentioned him in the entire game.
Yeah.
He has been on the field before now, surely. But that's the first time I've mentioned it.
No, that's gone the way of Holcombe. That has. He must have run that off the baseline. That's a shame. I mean, that's a great position to drive into the D. That, high right position with not too many defenders around. Intention to win a corner or get a slip pass, but didn't come to anything.
Ball in the circle. Beeston
Nicely
committing to
stepping
defence, and they get the whistle.
Yeah, they should have done. That's right. That's again, a lot of work had to be done to get back into defensive shape, but they've done that well. That has been a good feature of Beeston, that ability to contract into deep defensive positions. But it's this escape and progression through the middle of the pitch that's the problem for them at the moment.
The aerial ball from midfield towards the forwards a few seconds ago was underwhelming in the least. It was misconnected, right. And that allowed it to be much easily. Oh, there's a mistake in the Holcombe defence. They should ride this one out.
Yeah, they're patient with that because it's hard to close down at that sort of a height, and Ollie Ashdown was a few metres off. And again, here come Holcombe through the middle of the park.
Roper continues his run, looking for the give and go in the circle. Not finding him at the moment.
Just outside the D, free hit to Holcombe. So they restart very quickly. And thankfully he's passed that off the back of the pitch. So just being fanciful for a moment, but this will be a great time for Beeston to actually get a goal, because obviously Holcombe just stuttered a bit in this quarter in terms of their potency in the D. They've been there a few times but not created anything from it. In the context of the game, to get a goal now for Beeston would give them a lot of confidence to go on a bit. So this is a real time to see if you can get that ball into the position to D.
Play backwards by Joe Paul. I'm sure. Oh, that's a nice take as well. Griffiths on halfway, looks up and punches one towards the right-hand side of the.
Yeah, that's a lot better quick passing and gives them a good restart position on the right-hand side.
Forced an error, which is something that we've not said very often. Diagonal ball towards the circle, that's been given away as a free hit. Beeston maybe too keen to get things underway, and they've painted themselves into a bit of a corner here. Can the ball come out into a promising area? It's been low, it's dribbled into the circle, Holcombe come away.
Yeah.
Not a great passage of play, but better.
Because of the restart that you can have in hockey now, where you can trigger the thing yourself, this is a bit dangerous moment. Just
Beeston shepherding to the left-hand side of the circle, whistle blows, and everyone's retreating from the boulevard and Beeston restart. Yeah.
No, I was just thinking there's a tendency in the game now, because you have this restart, that you always restart quickly, and occasionally it might be useful when you're in a good position just to take a little bit more time, a bit more consideration over how you're going to build up at that high pitch position. Beeston again found their way onto the right-hand side, but showed a bit too much of the ball to Holcombe.
Very quick front-footed defence as well, anticipating the ball in and taking it. But Beeston's still in possession, or still have a good field position as well with the ball.
Yes, yeah.
That's a skipper over the baseline.
You see, how hasty was that? And that's all completely unnecessary. That's, they're on the right-hand side. They've done a good defensive work to get there, and then somebody just yahoos the ball off the back of the pitch. I mean, it's...
Other 1990s internet companies are available.
But it's one of those things where you just wish you could freeze the game and say to the player, now just have a think about what you're doing here. Because your teammates have worked hard to get you into a decent position on the pitch. Don't waste it.
Space for Holcombe to operate in, but they've been pressed back a tiny bit.
A little bit, that's right, they have.
Hayden Phillips with a ball across. Optimistic,
yeah, and that's, we've seen two or three of those from Holcombe, haven't we, just lately? A couple that they've fired off the back.
I think there's a difference between optimistic and hopeless, and optimistic with a purpose.
Yes.
And that was hit with purpose. I think that he was anticipating someone being there. Holcombe have it. There's a nice reverse ball, and there's a player on his haunches. Is that Banderak, who's... I think it is. His captain's armband. He's not happy. He was struck by the ball, still made time to get the ball away to a teammate, then became injured. That's commitment to the cause.
I'm just wondering if he was hit with a stick. Perhaps I don't know if you can see this again, but he's obviously in a bit of pain on his forearm or wrist.
There will be a stoppage in play whilst, and obviously we won't bring you that footage or give you the replay because it's an injury, but we can tell you off camera that he's moving around. He's certainly not the happiest he's ever been in his life. There's a one of his wrists, his left wrist, is strapped up quite heavily already, so I don't know if this is an impact on an already existing injury. Is he going off?
Well, I think it would be very sensible if he did, because he's obviously in some discomfort there, isn't he? So yeah, he's on his way off.
Just a quick note as well, next week on BTV it's the final game of the first half of the season. It's the office Christmas party as well. You're all expected to turn up in fancy dress. Hampstead and Westminster are the visitors to Nottingham Hockey Centre on the 3rd of December.
So great collection, great pick up there. Louis Dupre pressured by 3-4 Holcombe forwards, but that's allowed a counter-attack.
Gleeson with a nice ball forward. That's a nice take. Goalkeeper's come out a long way for it and makes the right choice. Beeston still have it in a promising position, although the next ball forward wasn't great. Ali Richmond, I think that was, Will Prentice.
Will Prentice, yeah,
just ball forward.
Again, I mean, in his haste to get the ball, to continue the attack, I mean, the ball had got away from Henry Croft as he headed into the D. Fell back to Will Prentice, but in his haste to get the ball back into some kind of action, he's just pushed it off the back of the pitch. So, where the promising moment disappears.
That's the best chance of the second half for Beeston, and they've played almost, exactly 10 minutes now of the second half.
Yeah, the ball through to Henry Croft was great, and but his first touch saw it quite a way ahead of him, and he was fighting a bit of a losing battle with Ollie Payne then.
Ollie Payne did very well to smother the opportunity.
Nice. Neat play there on the left-hand side from Holcombe. He's still got the ball in the D. This is where they won corners from in the first half.
Real attempt to win the ball back in the circle from Holcombe. There's a first-time aerial ball. Takes a nice,
very nicely controlled.
And look at the appeal from Henry Croft.
Just then Lee Barron sees that as a play on. Now there's space here. Where's that going? And there we are.
That's a great ball.
Get in there.
Run the reverse, and Payne to the rescue for Holcombe.
I'm just asking the question there of, again, Will Prentice, when you get the ball on the open stick, why don't you hit it that side instead of coming across on the reverse stick for a shot?
In the last couple of seconds, it feels like we've got a game on.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just needs a little spark of something.
Yeah.
And that's good shielding of the ball as well.
Ali Richmond there. I feel like I might be picking on Will Prentice a bit, but it has been him who's been making the mistakes. So.
Aerial ball forward, tries to find Ollie Ashdown. He leaps to try and direct the ball towards the goal, but it's beyond the outreach of his stick.
Yeah, there's certainly more circle entries from Beeston, so and it's still the 2-goal lead for Holcombe. So
Tom O'Keefe, I think, is the likeliest recipient of this on the right-hand side. The ball's going to get pushed back, though. It's to Mo Mir, who does get a touchdown. We do see him again. He's in the play.
Good transfer from Holcombe, swapping the ball over from their right to their left.
Oh, there's a potential. Maybe there's a risk of a card there, but there's not. It's a free hit. It was potentially a hook around the foot.
Yeah. Beeston finding himself with his nose on the turf.
Beautiful smell to this new turf that we is beautifully bedded in and is not giving anyone any trouble.
Giving anyone any troubles? No, that's right. Right-hand side again for Beeston. So can they? Yeah, they've run a free hit there.
It wouldn't be. It'll be excessive to say the wheels have come off for Holcombe, but they've had a little wobble.
Yeah, they've not been. They've been struggling a little bit. They're still good on the midfield possession, but Beeston have certainly had more circle entries.
Ball into the
Another one
circle
there.
and mopped up in defence by Holcombe. And look at the pressure from Beeston to try and win the ball back within the first couple of metres in front of that baseline. There's a sideline ball. Having to swing the ball all the way around to keep that momentum going. Here's Dupree.
Tries its way over to the left. Jamie Rawlings and
hold up, another Beeston ball. And this is easily the best spell of prolonged possession from Beeston.
Well, the hope is that they'll get something from this. I mean, they could do with just a penalty corner at the moment, just to settle things down. There it is in the D. It's fallen nicely to...
Oh, really good attempt, and so quickly flashed towards the goal. A snatch of an opportunity.
It certainly was, and just a little bit to the left of the post, the near post as we look at it. But certainly, we were hoping for something like that from Beeston's point of view. It's a shame it wasn't on target. But again, like you say, Andy, a bit more promising. Certainly more possession in Holcombe's half for Beeston. Just getting that goal and getting off the mark could make the game slightly different for the final quarter. Good work again from Holcombe.
A little bit of a breakdown.
Has fallen to.
And that is a little bit unfriendly. I think Hayden Phillips has come through and nicked the ball away.
And the ball's been pushed a long way away from Beeston. Anyway, they're back on it now. Just looking at the time, they ought to be thinking about getting this forward.
Around 3 minutes or so until the final quarter time break. Three-quarter time is almost upon us.
Fallen nicely off Gareth Griffith's stick to Beeston, and that's into the D. Now this is where we need to get something out of this. Come on, Henry Croft.
3D skills, and I think...
Yeah,
that was a unified appeal from Holcombe.
Yes, it was. He's Henry lifting the ball, and I think Lee Barron saw that as potentially dangerous. Yeah, that's good. Now, I would have, yes, I was going to say I would have said that was a beast, and Ollie Ash down there doing very well to win the ball. Very deep there. They need to just get up the pitch a bit, see if we can create something before the quarter break.
Around 2 minutes now until that break in play, and hopefully, well, if you're putting your Beeston hat on for a couple of minutes, you have to feel that this momentum has got to be maintained. They don't want this three-quarter time break, I wouldn't have felt.
No, they're definitely playing better. I mean, that's a lovely breakthrough. The marking players there into a dangerous position.
Nice take, shooting opportunity, and Payne, and it's
been turned
in!
A goal. Now this is exactly what we were after, just before the quarter break. It's been building gradually for the last, I would say, probably 7 or 8 minutes of pressure from Beeston, and that ball come up off the keeper, and Ollie Ashdown has tennis shotted it into the back of the goal. Nicely picked up there from Gareth Griffiths, shot in.
Not on the first attempt, but he was quickest to it. Payne beaten in the air. And there was a big roar around this place.
There certainly was, yeah. Well, I think you can sense when sort of tempos change, and obviously Holcombe sat back a bit in that quarter, and it's led to that goal for Beeston. So Beeston have to believe there's an equaliser somewhere in the not too distant future for them as they head into this final quarter. See the confidence it brings and the enthusiasm, and everybody sort of guiding everybody else around the pitch. And when you get into the fourth quarter of a game, you want to make sure that your tempo is higher than your opponent, and certainly your fitness levels are higher as well.
There's only around 30 seconds until three-quarter time, but you feel that this has set itself up for an interesting, I don't want to oversell it, but it's a very interesting final quarter to come.
Yeah, that's right, and a bit of an increased momentum from Beeston's point of view, so that's a good thing. As long as they can just eliminate these errors.
Can the ball get punched into the circle with enough time to a shot? There's a free hit for Beeston, and that probably is that for three-quarter time.
Yeah, Beeston have got to make sure that they don't hand the initiative back to Holcombe now, having established a bit of a of a leading performance in that quarter over Holcombe. They need to make sure that that, certainly in this first phase of the final quarter, is just the same. That's how you're going to get back into it. Maybe win a penalty corner and see if that can be the way. But I think retaining possession for Beeston now and using this counter-attack style of play is working for them. And the difference, of course, as well, Andy, is we've seen them get through the midfield, which they weren't doing in the first half, in possession of the ball, and that's been a great improvement.
This is a different Beeston performance, and I think 5 times I think we've been on BTV together this season with a Beeston men's team.
Yeah.
And 5 times I think we said, well, where's this Beeston team been prior to now?
Yes.
And that's something that needs to be addressed, I think, in the second part.
I think
of the
so,
season.
and I think I've spoken to Stephen Wood a few times about this, and he feels that the performances in the second half have been stronger for Beeston than they have in the first half of games, and often their second half performances are matching their opponents, whoever they're playing against.
So with all that in mind, another call out as well. If wherever you're watching in the world, do let us know. If you're just down the road, let us know. If you're watching in Malaysia, in India, South Africa, in America, maybe if you're watching in the Falkland Islands. Hello, everyone. You are all welcome. Do let us know where you're watching from, and we'll try and get those messages out. Your thoughts always welcome. Engagement is everything. I'm really trying to get you to come in. That's the call to action. Yeah. Comment, subscribe. Do everything you can to make us march up those streaming charts. You can help us out if you do that. Play underway, and the whistle blows. 23 is Nick Banderak, who's seemingly okay.
Yeah, he's obviously been hit, and he's got through that. I think now this is a dangerous bit, because obviously Holcombe have recognised that. I think they would have classed that as a poor quarter for them. And so they need to get the dominance they had in the first half back into their game. The scoreline of 2-1 with a quarter of the game left is close.
Nice idea. Hayden Phillips takes the ball down. Still on the run here, chops and ooh, very close to the edge of the circle, and Phillips has just tangled with Gleeson in the circle. One for the umpire to keep an eye on, I think.
Yeah, I thought Robbie Gleeson had got that, but obviously not. And there they are in the D.
It's padded away. A very solid thump in the pads as well from Simon Hirschman.
Oh, that was Joe Paul doing well in the D there to make sure that he was in possession of the ball when he got tackled. And that's a restart for Beeston with Louis Dupre. And here we go, a bit more flank side play, I suspect.
We've yet to see a penalty corner for Beeston. We had no penalty corners in the third quarter whatsoever. Right. So 5 in the game, all gone the way of Holcombe. 2 in quarter 1, 3 in quarter 2.
Good defensive work from both teams, I think, but I still feel that there's more progress to be had from Beeston down the flanks, left and right hand side. Certainly Holcombe struggle more with that than they do when Beeston try and go through the middle. Sometimes it's quite a direct route to get the ball high, so particularly as Beeston are chasing the game. Don't get caught there. And that's very deep and a lot of pressure. Again, this needs to come away safely.
Just that little touch took the speed out of the potential escape, but it's worked well for Beeston. There's a flung ball down, nice idea, good pace on it, just not quite
that's just
right.
Unlucky that George Fletcher heading over there. You have to be running flat out to get into the corners of the pitch when the ball's sent down the flank like that. Off the pitch. So again, similar traits. Holcombe just struggling to sort of string together the form they had in the first half, and it's giving more attacking opportunities for Beeston. Jamie Warren's going to use the aerial.
Plucked out of the
has
air.
Fallen to Beeston.
I think stepping back was the right thing there, rather than challenging for it. Just sometimes you know that reception doesn't come off.
Here's some space. Now that needs to be put somewhere dangerous. Don't lose the ball there. Crucial position. That would be far better if that was just slammed into the D to see if it could create a problem.
Coach Muss coming to the fore. Although Beeston have got a a toe hold in this game,
Yeah.
definitely now. There's more about this side as the ball gets towards
Another
the
one off
baseline.
the
Becomes
baseline.
kept in.
It's another lead to the baseline, out towards the edge of the pitch, and it's not been picked up. But for some reason, Holcombe seem to have sort of lost the momentum that they very much had in the first half, and they've given the ball back to Beeston a lot more than you would probably expect. Maybe that's the up in enthusiasm in the Beeston game. A lot of space there for Middleton. Yeah,
Nice
good
attempt.
layoff. This is better.
Repelled at the first line, second time as well.
Yeah, nicely stepped in again. Defensive strength, ball on the flank again. Oh. See, those are the mistakes that are very, very costly. I didn't see who that was, but that was Will Prentice again. Crikey, I seem to do well on his case today.
No Chris McCarr for you. Looking for a foot there in the circle that didn't come. Trying to go again at the point of the circle where the circle meets the baseline.
Corner. Penalty corner.
Foot, as the umpire Reed points to his foot with a flourish.
Well, again, I'm afraid I'm looking back to the trigger point with an attack down the right-hand side where the ball's given back to Holcombe far too easily, and the same pattern in the first half, they win a corner. I'm a big fan of looking at trigger points in errors and what that leads to. And sometimes it's very important to point out to players how important their possession of the ball high up the pitch is.
So we do have our first penalty corner of the second half.
Yeah.
58 minutes on the clock now.
I think under the circumstances it would be a shame that if this was to go in, because of the progress that Beeston have made through the last quarter and into this.
Padded away, stroke again.
Stroke again, yeah.
And that's disappointment for the Beeston defence. Almost identical to the incident in the first half. Let's watch this again on the replay. So the delivery was sharp. The trap was good. And then I think it was played off the goalkeeper onto...
Not quite sure.
I think Toby Stanley may be the player who's... if you're looking down on the ground, Toby Stanley, number 4, is the player who's still not in the best of health, and he's not thrilled. This is very likely to be a hat-trick attempt for Nick Banderak. He's already scored one.
Yeah, well, I think it's a shame that they're in this position because of, as we said earlier, but you would expect this to be a goal from Nick Banderak.
Can Simon Hujwan come out on top, or will it be a hat-trick? It's a hat-trick!
Yeah, very nicely put away. Simple as the bottom goal. Nick Banderak still seems to be in a bit of pain, I think, but he's not struggled to put that away.
So this is that little address of the ball, getting his position right. This time going a little bit low up. Hujwan went the right way.
Yes, I think that's cleverly taken, that, because I think Nick Banderak had seen Simon Hujwan's slightly different setup and position, and so he just put that low into the corner. Easy finish for 3-1. Real shame, because the fight back was well underway from Beeston.
We're seeing trotting away into the distance Robbie Gleeson. I think he might have just been shown a card for potential dissent, and he's taken a seat.
Yes.
Rather than... so does that suspension now doesn't start until he's reached the seat, or are they being generous, do you think? So yeah, he needs to go and take a seat on the sanctioned seat.
He does.
Otherwise, this could be a very, very costly long spell on the sidelines.
It's hard to see what he was upset about there, really, because I didn't see anything that was particularly controversial.
No, if he might have been disappointed. That's a nice pass out to Dupre, and who's got space into it. I can see that Gleeson may have been disappointed with that there was a penalty award, but I think that you can't disagree with it. It simply was the right decision.
I mean, I would, like I said, I'd have been more disappointed with turning possession over and allowing Holcombe back into the game when you've got all the pressure. Those are the sorts of things that I think need to be looked at closely. So again, you can see now the passing game, Holcombe's passing game has instantly looks better. They're comfortable with their 2-goal lead again for the last 10 minutes.
And of course they are playing against 10 temporarily.
Yes. Which naturally forces you to be defensive in your own half. You can't really press high when you're a player missing. Leaves too many gaps, and so the possession is likely to be with Holcombe for the next minute or so still. Trying to find their way into the D.
Just watching the umpires, and it's gone the way of Beeston. Lee Barron pointing towards the car park end.
I do like the intent of Holcombe. Every time they get anywhere near the getting to the D, the player makes sure that he does get there.
That is poor.
That's poor. Yes. I think this, you know, the momentum's been knocked out of Beeston by that goal, and that's why it was such a disappointment that it was given away. The penalty corner was given away, resulting in the penalty stroke.
Conditions update. The floodlights are on. The sun has dipped beyond the horizon. And Holcombe are sniffing out a fourth. That's gone through everything.
Yeah, and that's something I always look at really, is having somebody on the opposite side of the D, sealing the D when you slip the pass so that it doesn't go flying off the other side. But unfortunately that's worked for Beeston and not for Holcombe. Beeston back on the ball.
That was risky but effective, and there's space to work in.
Now they have connected.
Inside, outside.
Henry Croft still on the ball.
Oh, fires one, and what did that come off? I think it seemed to deviate in the air.
It did. We didn't get a good shot of that really, but unlike Henry Croft, who seemed to hit it very hard, but it wasn't deadly accurate, obviously. 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes.
Nice takedown.
Holcombe have taken any aerial, they've controlled it really well. I think they've missed one, and that's about it. Ball with them again.
Roper fired in, looking for something. He's going to have a second go, and Beeston get the whistle.
It takes you a lot longer to get a reverse stick shot off because of the backlift you need on the stick.
That could be excellent, and that was good effort, really good effort, but not quite.
Not quite. Ollie Ashdown on the floor trying to keep that ball in for Beeston.
Not only the goal scorer as well, I think he's probably been the standout performer.
Yes, I agree.
In the second half for Beeston.
So Holcombe pinned back a bit there, so that's a very deep pass to outlet, but they've done that very nicely. And there it is on the right hand side.
Rob Field dispossessed. That ball just being kept in.
Too eager to pass that ball into Gareth Griffiths with a number of red shirts around him. And that's won back again. Ollie Ashdown.
Must have heard that we were singling out. Nice ball into the corner. There's a lot of red shirts between that position and the goal line.
Yeah, Holcombe do pack the defence well and quickly.
That's very neat indeed. Where's the next movement? It's a free hit for Beeston. Holcombe have to retreat.
Yeah, I haven't given up on it yet. There's some signs of life, as you would say, as you're heading towards the last 6 or 7 minutes.
As things stand, that is 29 goals for the season for Holcombe's men. Goal difference moves up to 8, incredibly enough. So they conceded a lot as well as scored a lot.
Yeah. I think this is probably why they're not top 2-3. I think there's no doubt about the quality they have in their side. They're still obviously trying to gel it all together themselves, but there's no reason on a particular day that they can't beat any of the top 4 or 5 sides. Beeston again on the right-hand side, but really defensively well marshalled by Holcombe, and see all the organisation going on in the Holcombe defence there, making sure that all lines towards the D are blocked. Do a quick restart.
Run again broken up from 2 challenge at the same time.
In the D now.
Into the circle. Is there an end product on the end of this? It's been turned in.
Yes. Well, I mean, right side attack, some very skillful work along the baseline. Nice little lift of ball.
Croft taking the congratulations.
Yeah. Well, 5 minutes of what can we expect? Tricky skills, tricky skills.
Who's the player that got the credit for the assist there? Who got that? So we know it's Henry Croft who put the ball into the goal, but who was the player with the skills?
Was it Tim Stanley? Toby Stanley.
We'll watch that back, but really, really good stuff. And just sprinkles a bit of extra drama. We thought this game 30 seconds ago was pretty much in the history books, but no, there's just 1 goal now separates Beeston.
And Beeston have won that back as well, so off they go. Turn the ball over there. That's Holcombe getting a bit. I think,
yeah, Greg Nolan very, very disappointed with that call. But
yes. Greg Nolan, former Beeston player many years ago as a junior, went and played quite a lot of hockey in Holland. There we go, right hand side again now. Can they create something from
free
this?
hit promising, so Holcombe need to give it the space. There's the punch ball that didn't have to be deceptive. I was expecting that to, no movement at all in the circle. It is now, and that looks like
it's a deflection and a save as well. So back with Beeston. There's a lot. The noise level has gone up tremendously in the last minute. Here we go, right side.
Penalty corner. First
penalty
of
corner
the game for Beeston. What a time to get it as well. And you were saying all the good stuff coming down the right-hand side.
Yes,
the goal, of course, coming from there as well. Talk us through this.
Yeah, well, again, they've found their way to the baseline and into that crucial part of the D, and that part of the D particularly is the best place to, or the easiest place to win penalty corners from. And they've executed that very well to get their first penalty corner at this very late stage of the game.
Now, it's a golden opportunity to get back on level terms. Who's going to be the likeliest player to address this ball?
I was just looking if Jamie Rawlings is actually on the pitch, but I don't think he might be on the... Can't see him from here. So we've got Henry
23
Croft.
we're looking for.
I suspect this might be a little moved type of, rather than a flick, because we haven't got Jamie Rawlings on there who would normally flick it.
In towards Griffiths, who goes low, and that's flashing wide. It's taken a touch, though.
Yes, that's... Well, they thought that was a foot, but it's gone for a long corner. That's got to go in the deep.
Listen to the noise as well. Yeah. Hopefully you can hear that wherever you're watching in the world. That's eat into the corner. There's a slide. That is a foot.
A penalty corner. Well, George Fletcher working well along the other baseline this time. Again, another place where you can win penalty corners from if you think it through, and he's done that very well indeed. Off the long corner restart. There he is. He's made a good lead. Picked up the ball.
That's a nice skill, and there's a slide there.
Finds the foot.
And yeah, the slide was not connected at all. Jay Cohen was the player going to ground.
Well, Beeston haven't got a flicker on them, obviously missing Jamie Golden, who we haven't mentioned, but we can in a minute. But Jamie Rawlings was on the side, who's their other flicker. So you saw that time it fell to Gareth Griffiths. There wasn't a lot of power in it, so he's going to need accuracy or some kind of a move.
I suspect it'll be the same player, but this time to the left of the goal, I think, just to mix things up. Let's see. It is Griffiths. It goes low, and the accuracy isn't there, but it's a repeat penalty corner.
Yeah, a little bit slow on the movement from Beeston, but Gareth Griffiths just, I think he must have thought that the best I can do is get a corner, so he's taken that.
Clock is ticking down. Time is not Beeston's friend. We did see an extremely late penalty corner goal against Brooklands a couple of weeks back. That's put Beeston 3 points better off than, well, 2 points better off than they possibly could have been. What's the delivery like? This time it's quicker.
Okay.
Griffiths again doesn't get the touch. Goes live and it scores for the equaliser.
Equaliser, reverse stick hit. Well, would you believe it again? That's the second time I've been able to say that in the last 2 presentations.
Well.
3-3 with
the initial feeling here that it might have gone a bit wrong, but he decided to make the best of it and continue the run. And the space just opened up for the shot.
Yeah, and I think the Holcombe defender got in his keeper's way a bit, really.
Seen the green card being brandished and trying to work out who's gone. Griffiths is busting a gut in the middle of your picture. Can Beeston sneak an unlikely win here? Pushing everybody forwards with around 20 seconds to play. It is low. Is it a penalty corner? No.
No.
It's been well watched by the umpire. 10 seconds to play. If we played another 10 minutes, who knows?
That's right, and Beeston have...
And that is the final whistle. Drama upon drama upon drama.
Well, a very unexpected point, I think, there, but you can't fault the fight back. And at 3-1 down, I thought Beeston were dead and buried, but credit to them, really. They found their way back into that.
And 2-0 as well, for that matter.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
It did look like a very comprehensive performance for Holcombe, but as I said in the commentary, I didn't want to over-egg it and say that the wheels had come off from Holcombe, but that was a quite surprisingly big wobble of a wheel.
I agree,
Holcombe.
because it seemed so noticeable, Andy, didn't it, that their tempo completely drained away in the second half. And in games of hockey, as we see, there's often lots of goals and goal opportunities, and we've witnessed it today.
So what we can see is on your screen now. It's a 3-3 draw on BTV. It's not, Beeston haven't scored many goals this season, but when they've scored them, they've been at important junctures in the game.
Yes.
Nick Banderak opened the scoring for Holcombe on 22. That was a penalty stroke. And same player on hand on 24 with a neatly finished penalty corner, and at that point you started to think, well, we can start to write the obituary here for Beeston.
Yes.
Ollie Ashdown with a tennis-style finish
yes.
to make it 2-1. Nick Banderak then went up the other end and converted a second penalty stroke, his hat-trick goal. And then we saw Henry Croft with a really nice finish.
Yep, from a nice little lifted pass.
With 5 minutes to go. Yep. And then with around about a minute to go, Gareth Griffiths, after a succession of penalty corners, I've got to say the initial touch wasn't great. But he did well to recover, stayed in the moment, and found the ball all the way through and managed to find the bottom.
And it's because he got it on target. And I say time and time again to players, if nothing else, get your shots on target, because anything can happen. And that's a good example of that.
Well, corner count finished 6 for Holcombe, 3 for Beeston, and they managed to pop up with a equalising goal right at the end. And look at that, nothing in quarters 1, 2 and 3. That's and then 3 right at the end. That they managed to convert, and 6 for Holcombe.
Yes. Well, I think if I'm reading this right, Andy, they're looking at the goal difference between Beeston and Oxted. That will probably put them into Oxted's position. Well,
I have in my hand a piece of paper, as Neville Chamberlain once said. So Beeston now are on 15 goals scored with 26 against, so their goal difference stays the same, obviously at a minus 11.
Yes.
Oxted are on minus 14 but 11 points, so you're right. Based on the information we have, it's Beeston that would actually climb to 6th place. Depends. We don't know what's going on with Reading and University of Exeter.
That's right.
So we're reserving judgment and not saying that's a fact.
Yes.
But and the information that we have, Beeston have climbed up to 6th place.
Yes. Yeah.
So we're trying to have a look on the social media, trying to dig around to see if we can find that for you whilst we're still on the air. Well,
but I think the other thing about this, Andy, is it just shows how competitive Beeston can be, and that bodes well for the second half of the season as well.
Indeed, and there's another game in store for Beeston's men. It's a trip to Sugden Road next weekend. It's the 4th of December, away game against Surbiton, who are going to come off a defeat. And they're never good coming off defeats.
No, that's right.
That's as in the team facing them will often find a backlash.
Yes, that's right.
Elsewhere, BTV is back next Saturday That's the 3rd of December. Hampstead and Westminster are the opponents for Beeston's women. I'll remind you, who have secured top 6 status for the second half of the season. You can enjoy that. It's also our Christmas party. You're encouraged. No, you are formally told to turn up wearing fancy dress wherever you're watching in the world. It's a Christmas party. Get the tinsel out. Yeah. We certainly will be decorating the chapel here in ready for Christmas time. It's the Christmas break coming up at the end of that game. Thanks, Stephen Musson. Who was your player of the game?
Well, from Nick Bandrak's hat-trick, we would have expected that from a player of his quality. From Beeston's point of view, Ollie Ashdown, I thought, had a great game, and Simon Hudge ran again. Breaking
news, Reading won 5-1, according to the England Hockey website. So that means that Oxted would their goal difference would actually reduce down even further.
Yes.
So Beeston end the day in the top 6.
I think Reading. I think it might be with Reading's win that'll take them.
Of course,
it'll take them to 6th and Beeston 7th.
Of course. There we go. Yes, so that was a little bit of a deflating moment, but yes, yes. Thanks very much for Colin Pike, because he's watching and let me know that happened in real time.
Yeah.
So thanks again, Colin, for writing in, and also for your stats as ever on BTV. And yes, so that was
So all Beeston needs to do now is go to Surbiton and win.
Yes. With that in mind, thanks to everyone behind the scenes. Thanks to Adam on the cameras. Thanks to Callan on the 1s and 2s. Thanks to Josh with the music. And I've been Andy Day keeping you company this afternoon. It's been a fascinating afternoon in the men's Premier Division hockey. It's finished here.